Alright, what's happening here, guys? Brandon. We're going to go over a couple of swing trade ideas we had here following up these scans this weekend. You're going to be looking at PSTG. PSTG on the daily here, just a very simple trend line from highs through the first red. Had finally caught up here. And this last week we're kind of peeking at it, recovering the 9. Didn't really have any call or plays on it yet because we didn't catch up to this first trend line. On the daily swings, it's important to me to take the highs into the first red candle trend line. So we're finally over in here and we're starting to recover the 9. Even today we dipped down a little bit above it, but closing above it, closing above it, closing above it. This is going to be on watch for at least the next week. I'm going to be buying all the dips that I could find. I was hoping for a dip today, as you can see on the 5-day, 5-minute here, that it had recovered this trend line yesterday and today, and gave us very few dips pre-market to get into this. So I'll be watching this with alerts set. I have alerts set under yesterday's lows here, set at like $24, and then if it does happen to come down to pre-market support in 23.80s and 23.50s, I will be buying all the dips on PSTG, running this for at least 3 days. Gonna look to see it maintain this trend line recovery that it has made over the 9. Start closing heavy over the VWAP here on the daily, and hopefully continue up. First target would be 25. Okay. Next we got on the list, we're just going to go over some tech we day traded today, if TOS would like to cooperate. Looking at Tesla. Tesla is a very interesting day here because it had begun in this tiny little channel. It has wick resistance right here at the 325 80s area, and then wick support here at 324 30s. Now I was channeling here before, broke out of that channel, came back in, and didn't recover the 9. So I was looking for it to hold ultimately this 324, but coming from a swing at 309 way back here 2 days ago, we did take a lot of profit. I took over 10 points on that, or not over 10 points, over 5 points on that today, and took off most of that, and had a couple nice day trades today. It does look like it wants to go lower here today, midday. We did have this line here at 325.87, which we just talked about being the wick resistance, right, on the daily, and you've seen it fail it quite some time. So I think we're going to have a nice pullback today on Tesla. I will look to enter Tesla long again to swing it, depending on what this next couple looks like. Okay, if we do get under the 50 and test back down to the 100, make a nice couple lower day and start ramping up late day, or if it just holds the VWAP and 50 up here for a while, chop sideways, and then has a nice run late day, I will start entering positions. If it holds the 50 and starts looking bullish, I'll be checking it with alerts. So watch for Tesla. There's going to be a continuation, hopefully, with Tesla here. We did have really good news on the China factories is a go. So I'm hoping for this, come back up. If it does happen to fail our support that we have down here and does test the 50, maybe in the 320s range, I still will be looking to buy in because this does have a good continuation to it. Good aspects, good news, and it's Tesla. Nvidia, we're looking over the swing trade idea here. Last week, unfortunately, we had a red stop out back here on 7.3. For my swing, but it also recovered nicely. I'm going to look for any kind of sell-offs I can get in Nvidia here, down to the 50 EMA, yesterday's close, and down to the 249 low area. Today's a very, very strong day, so I don't see that coming. But since we're topping out at highs here today, I'm going to watch it for the rest of the day. Hopefully, get a sell-off and see what that recovers. BILI, more of a recent IPO, but the lows and highs range of the last 5 days here was looking interesting, and on the daily we had run into shied some support here, also the 200 EMA, which doesn't really come into play that much. You can't really be an IPO, but still respecting it. I think this thing will give us some dip buy opportunities, and once it does recover strongly over 1437, will run the 50 EMA sometime in the next week here is going to come into play. So I'll be watching to buy the dip buys on BILI. Hoping to get some kind of red day here after these 2 greens. I'm hoping to have a small pullback and hopefully hold a $13. That would be ideal. But using our trend line here from the high to the first red candle, we do have some some intraday movement here to check out from 3 days ago. You can see the line from our support here bouncing right at about 1238. That's the support we're looking at the daily. As it comes up to our medial high, it has not reached our trend line here. So this is the one where I'm worried about the most as far as getting back over. So in the next, hopefully, week, if it does chop higher lows, I will be picking up these dips near $13. Anything kind of low near 13. Ultimate stop out is going to be under the 1230s range of the lows of that support on the daily. So we'll be picking up these dip buys, and hopefully once we get to this time next week for this trend break, it's already on the way back up and recovering up to this 200. So BILI looks like it has some good potential to it as well. I did want to touch on Netflix as well. I think this thing, has still a very bullish sentiment to it. Just doing a lot of support and resistance stuff today, just looking at it, a lot of hammers, a lot of buy-offs off these dips. The only bad resistance, wick resistance we have right here. Let's chart it out just for, I'm going to check out the 5-day here. There, and you can see it kind of shied that wick resistance. So what we're going to look for here, as you can see that intraday trend line we have drawn there from pre-market is holding up support today. And what I'm going to look for in Netflix is for this previous day trend line to hold up. So even if it does sell off and lose the 100-day or 200-day and fail previous close, with the next couple days, I'd like to see Netflix kind of relax, come back down to the 412, maybe in 410, nothing under 411, but I'm going to be looking for some dip buy opportunities on Netflix as well. Because the daily still looks bullish. What are you looking at right here? It's a cup. So as we hit the 423 high, came back down, find our support in the 380s, came back up. Now testing the cup, I think it's going to have a nice little relax down to that 408 to 410 area on the next few days if it doesn't rip, and have a nice handle and continuation. So those will be the swing trade ideas for this week, and I will see you guys in the morning.